All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Girlfriend, We Got You. This is your host, Melissa Marie, and I am here with the fabulous, the awesome, the hustling babe, boss lady girl, Ashley Allen.
Hey.
Hey. So this episode, we're going to talk about it's going to be called Gossip Girl. And we're going to be talking about gossip. And I think gossip is definitely a major thing to speak about because it affects everyone on every level. And there's
Oh,
so
for
many
sure.
different stories. And I just was like, I want to talk about gossip. Like, this is something I really truly want to talk about.
Yeah, no, it's a good topic. I mean, it's a really good topic. I feel like it's something everybody has dealt with. Everybody, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and as far as our girlfriends listening out there, you know, it hurts when bad gossip or if someone's being vindictive to say bad things about you just to make them feel good. That's that's the type of gossip where I have always endured, where people would be very either jealous of me or they will feel so insecure about themselves that they will create stories and to tell other people, for
Yes.
other people to have this image of me, which is not even correct.
Yes. And then it becomes difficult because, when you go through that, it really affects you. And then it's almost like you're trying to control how people see you, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And then you can kind of run yourself down with that and develop a serious complex.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
actually have members of my family. There's two members in particular that I'm thinking of that they thrive off of gossip, and they actually have used gossip as their own little weapon within the family, and has stirred the pot so bad that family members would be not talking to each other for years, bad stuff. And it's and it hits generational. So what's very interesting is in my family, and this is on one side of the family, there's this one individual, and I don't want to get into too much detail because obviously I want to keep the privacy of my family. But I have this one aunt who she would gossip and gossip and gossip. And the stuff that she would say would be horrendous about people. She would make fun of people. She would do, yeah, she would do the ultimate just to make herself look better. And you'd be surprised how many people really would believe her. And it would just stir the pot within the family. And then comes the next generation, which is my generation. So it's me, my siblings, and my cousins. And we have someone in that generation who does the exact same thing. And
Oh
it's
my God.
generation after generation. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, are we not going to see the light?
Mm-mm,
It's
no.
crazy. But the sadness of this is that the both of the individuals have very low self-esteem, and they do it to make themselves look good and feel good. Like, it's a power thing because it makes them feel good to talk about other people because
Oh,
they don't deal with the
yeah.
situations that they're dealing with.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, as a former mean girl, because I want to say it wasn't probably till I was about mm, 30, 31. I
And
was
we
about,
talked about this, yeah, because I
yeah.
used to have a snake. I call it the snake's tongue, but I used to have a snake's tongue when I was younger, and I used to say some pretty awful stuff.
Oh yeah, because I never felt like, I mean, I have no problem being really transparent. Just from my personal experience, I thrived off of gossip because I didn't feel good about myself. And then I had a lot of insecurities and I used to pride myself on my quick wit. And so at times I would even be like friends quote unquote, with people. Um, and they would tell me things and I would keep it on the back burner. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Just in case I needed it.
Right.
And if arguments or anything happened, that would be what I would throw up in their face. Right.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
it would make me feel better. And it was very, very toxic behavior, because even outside of those situations where it was just talking poorly about people, um, it's because I would compare myself to others, right?
Yeah.
Or I would have my own expectations of where I should be and how I should look, and all the things I should have. And so if I hadn't hit all of those check marks of life, right, then I would feel less than. And so I would gossip about people, and it would make me feel better because I felt like I was doing better than them and that their life was not together. And hey, if I don't have the dream house and the dream husband and all this and the dream body, it's okay, because look at this person over here doing all this good.
Right.
Like, at least I'm not them. And yeah, I mean, it was almost, and I feel like people,
That's how it's created. Exactly.
yes, and I feel like people get addicted to it
Oh
because
yeah, there's a huge addiction to that. Yeah.
yeah, because they want to feel good, and
Yeah, they do.
they want something to talk about. And instead of finding trustworthy girlfriends or soul sisters that you can confide in and lift each other up about what you're working towards, instead of doing that, people just kind of fall into these behavioral patterns where they're attracting like-minded individuals, and they just kind of sit and stir up gossip all the time, and nobody's really getting anywhere.
Right.
It's like a temporary high, so to speak, I feel like.
Well, it is a temporary high because I think too that there's also that like feeling of how people they actually get off on like other making other people feel good or feel bad. So like, for someone who's like the other end of it, the person that's being affected by the gossip, they're hurt and they're like sad and they feel betrayed. And there's a power on that. So the other person who's creating the gossip feels that power, and so they feel like they're superior.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
that,
really not true, actually. Yeah.
yeah. And you know, it's all down, and it really kind of just boils down to like the things we've been talking about those insecurities. And the thing is that it comes from a lot of judgment.
Yeah.
So what I've seen in people and in myself in the past is that I would get off on judging people.
Yeah.
And what I
That
was really,
judgment.
yes, and what I was really doing
Mhm.
was projecting onto them, because
Yeah.
you know they were they were doing things, or something that maybe I had wanted or I had once wanted, or whatever the case may be. And so people get very addicted to judging other people. It really, it's kind of scary how second nature it becomes. And when I started becoming really self-aware and really conscious of my behavior, um I was totally like, I don't even know the right words for this. I was totally like caught off guard. I was like, oh, how could I be like this? Like, oh my God, you know,
Like
like
you and me?
yes, yes. And sometimes it was like I would, throw the dagger, or light the flame, and when someone would get pissed off, I'd be like, oh, but me? No, like, so that little victim mentality would play in there too. And
Oh gosh.
you know,
Yeah.
so it was a huge realization how addicted I was to just like judging people and myself and gossiping. And it was a lot of stuff I've had to break through and heal from,
Right.
that had made me feel like that, right? And so
Mhm.
pretty much what we have is a bunch of unhealed people who aren't really self-aware, hurting other people.
No, they're not.
Mhm.
No, not at all.
Because what is that saying? Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it's true. Her and I always that's actually something very similar to what I tell my kids like when they're dealing with people or kids, not people, but kids at school, if they're dealing with some child that's being very, ver- judgmental or whatever it might be, I always have told my kids, don't judge back onto what's going on in the situation because you don't know what their home life is. Their reaction to what's going on in the situation might not have anything to do with you. It might be from the hurt and what's going on at their home.
Oh, for sure. I told my
Yeah.
kids the same thing. It's like not that, not to necessarily endure their behavior,
No.
but it's like um before you try to come back at them or match that kind of shitty energy
Right.
or
Or
get in.
whatever's going on.
Yeah, or don't lower yourself like that. I've told them the same thing.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. And that goes in like our like it goes with even being adults. I mean, we're in a society right now where it's almost being turned upside down and people are dealing with so many different things and you got half of the people that are being very judgmental, other half that are just trying to deal and it's like a very like crazy chaotic emotional thing right now and the fact that there is this going on. You do got to keep into count that you don't know what's going on with that person on the other end. Like you
Right,
just do not know.
right.
So the judgment needs to stop.
Yes. And what really, I think what was really bizarre to me, what I think for me, it's like whenever you think people are your friend and then they do it, it's to me, it's
That
very hurtful.
so that's the hardest part with me, especially with the gossip thing. Like I had a girlfriend for a very long time and she was with me with my business and oh gosh, we were friends and we were such close friends. Like we went on vacations together. She hung out with my family. Like it was like we were like the closest friends. And to find out behind my back, she was saying a lot of bad gossip. And what happened was is our friendship ended up ending because she did the ultimate betrayal. She ended up starting up another salon and it just got really like bad and she left all of a sudden. She actually told me she was leaving while I was in the middle of processing a client. Like it was so shitty. Like the
Oh
whole
my God.
it was so traumatic to me for what happened, but after the fact, when everything happened and I found out like she like pretty much started up like her own salon and did all this stuff shitty behind my back. People are like, "Well, didn't you see the signs? Didn't you see it? She used to say all this stuff about you." And I was like, "No." I'm like, "No one came to me and told me the stuff that she was saying and she was doing." Like it was almost like, like have you ever been like cheated on, but like everyone else knows that
But
that
you,
person is like,
yeah, everyone
fully
knows but
around
you.
behind your back, but you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then you feel like the fool and you're like, what the hell
Yeah,
is happening? And why didn't anybody give me a heads up here?
right. Why didn't anyone tell me that like my best friend was talking shit behind my back? Like, I mean, you guys were all listening. So I
Oh my
also
God.
feel too, going kind of back to that story. Um, not I don't know. I go back and forth. Not necessarily like you're responsible to tell the person what's going on, but if you're listening to it, I'm sorry, but I feel like you're just as in fault.
I know. You know what? That to me, it's so okay. It's so funny that you brought that up right now
I
because
do.
I was literally watching this movie and anyway, it was something similar to what we're talking about right now. Like people knew that her fiance had like cheated on her and they knew who he cheated with.
Right.
She never knew even when he dumped her. She didn't find out like a year later, but then she found out everybody else knew and she
Yeah.
was really upset. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, where is that line? Like where is that line if you're not a big gossip person, but you come across information, especially if you know, well, it doesn't really matter if you know if it's true or not, but you like, what do you do with that? What are you supposed to do? you know?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's like, do you, in your situation, do you think it would have helped if someone would like, hey, I heard this is going on. I don't know if it's true. Like,
Um, I think it would have been nice to at least get a heads up of, I mean, she was kind of doing all this for a year before it actually went down. And like I don't know. I think something. I mean, especially the fact that after the fact, people are like, well, didn't you see the signs? I'm like, no, because she played the damn part pretty freaking good. And she was like a kiss ass to my face, but behind my back, like she was talking shit. So
oh, well, do you think, okay, now Harris, I have a question for you. Let's say that I was in your friend group and I heard it and I was like, no, look, I think this is what this chick is doing to you. I don't know, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I just think you should know just in case. Well, now you take that information, you go to this woman and you're like, are you doing this? And she denies it all. Then what do you do?
I guess it all depends on what you do with the information because a part of me, I don't know, like if the me now, I would probably, I'm a good people watcher. Like I like to watch people. So like when someone gives me information, I don't always necessarily go to that person and be like, well, Ashley told me this and this and this.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that. So I guess everyone is different. I'm not the type of person. I like to actually sit back and because I feel like actions speak louder than words.
Oh yeah.
So I would kind of like would like to see actions
Okay. So you would probably more observe than go straight to them.
and go straight to her. And then if I saw the signs of the information you gave me was correct, then I would confront her all the way. But that's,
Okay.
I think everyone deals in that type of a situation differently.
Yeah, that's true. And it's so weird because I remember there was a situation like in my early 20s where I knew some information. I told this person and it totally blew up in my face. Like it was my fault that I
Oh,
that I told them. So, and it
yeah.
wasn't even me. I wasn't even actually attempting to be malicious at the time. I was literally just like, hey, this ain't right. You gotta know. And it just totally backfired on me.
I know. And
And
that has happened to me before. So I do know, like, I told a friend that her boyfriend was cheating on her and she turned it around on me. That I
yes.
just like, I wanted him and blah, 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 blah. And it was like the worst experience ever. And I lost a friendship out of it and the whole shebang. So,
I know it's like, so I guess it really kind of depends on the situation and the person,
hmm
because some people don't want to receive that. Some people don't
no,
want to receive it,
no.
you
And some
know?
people are okay with being with someone who like is being like shady, I guess, too, when you're looking at that information. I mean, I do know of a few women who are like with their person for financial reasons and they're okay with whatever they do. So,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah, I've heard of that
okay,
before.
and they're if they're okay with it, they're okay with it. Then no one might say anything. So I guess it
Yeah.
all depends on the situation. But gossip is, going back to it, just it's just mean. It's just mean.
Yeah, a lot of it is. I remember I was really upset a couple years ago when I found out a friend of mine who I thought was a pretty good friend of mine. Um, I kept wondering why people kept finding out personal things about me at work. And
Oh,
like, I couldn't figure it out. I was so blind. I was like, is someone like overhearing my conversation or whatever? And I just never put two and two together. And I think probably I just didn't want to. I
right.
didn't want to see it probably. Um, and later, actually, I had recently made the decision that, I was kind of done with that friendship altogether because it just doesn't serve a purpose because she still pulls the same stuff. Even though I created a lot of distance. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is just not good. Like I need a real I've done a lot of work and I know you have too. We both have. We've done a lot of work on
We've
ourselves.
done a lot of work on
A
ourselves.
lot of
Absolutely.
healing. Yes, over
Yes.
over all the trauma in our lives and things that we've been
Mhm.
through and We really have. We've busted ass, and
Yeah,
it's, ooh, it's been a ride, and it
I
continues.
know.
So it's like, I don't want to deal with anybody that's like that anymore. Like, I just don't have the energy. I don't care. It's not sincere. It's not genuine.
No, and I actually will like pull the plug fast. Like I am now in the point of my life where I've done so much work that if I even see any of that going on, I'm done. I'm just like, boom, I'm done. And I
Yeah,
love it.
same
I can't
here.
do it.
I do too. I'm just like, all right, I like back away.
I know.
I back off. I'm just back off and slowly stop responding to stuff
I'm
and
like,
shut it down.
done, done.
I can't handle it. And I guess that's just really disappointing. I think that's the most disappointing about stuff about gossip, because you almost expect it from people that aren't really close to you, that might be intimidated or jealous.
Oh
Like,
my God, Ash, that's such a great point because most of the time it's the people closest to you.
it
Oh
really
my
is.
God. You just brought up like such an awesome point because that is so, so true.
I told my friend the other day, her and her husband were in, like, they had a toxic friend circle, because she was like telling me all this drama about like her friends and the shit that goes down and all the shit she found out, and all the husbands doing this and that. I said, you need to get new friends. I was like, your
Right?
friend circle, it fucking sucks. I was
You need to dump
like,
those people. It's time to dump them.
I know, it's like, exactly. I'm like, they're all a dumpster fire. Like, you need to get away. Like,
Right.
I was like, and I told her too, I was like, you kind of sound excited when you talk shit about them. I was like, this is a problem. This is not okay.
Yeah, that is a
I
problem.
was really trying to be a mirror for her in that moment and be like, hey, um, this is something I recognize. Like, I just tell you,
How
you
did
know.
she take that? Just curious.
She was like, look, I know they're all fucking toxic, okay? That's why I'm really not trying to talk to them that much anymore. And I'm just focused on what I'm doing. And I was like, okay. I mean, I wasn't trying to give her shit. I was saying it in a playful manner, but she knows I was totally serious, because I was just like, you can't be around this. Like, it
No,
fucks up your peace and in
it
your
does.
energy.
I'm
It,
all about my peace too. That's like my whole everything. I'm like, my peace is everything.
yes. And it's so bizarre that it happens to be the people that are like the most closest
Yes.
to you. It
Yes.
really does. I just it and it's what's really funny, because I've had a lot of self-esteem issues. I mean, ever since I was a child, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things I've had to overcome. And I used to think, this one friend in particular, I used to think she was just so gorgeous. I was like, she is so pretty. I used to think like this. I can't even believe like she wants to be like hanging out with me and stuff. Like, she's just so pretty. And I really just thought she was just one of those beautiful girls everybody thought was beautiful. And I couldn't believe how like we were like best friends and stuff. And then when I found out all the things that she had said about me, especially, over the last couple of years of our friendship, I was like, oh my God,
Oh, that had to hurt.
she was so fucking jealous. And I
Yeah.
was like, what? And I was just like, my mind was blown, because I seriously always thought that she was just everything. Like, I just thought, I admired her so much. She's so beautiful, she's so put together and all this stuff. And I always encouraged her. And
Yeah.
when I found out all those things, I could not believe that she was insecure because of me, and she was jealous because of me. It blew my mind. And really, it did hurt my feelings a lot, but really blew my
I'm sure
mind.
it did hurt you. Like that's what my initial would be, but so it was more the fact that it just surprised you because already of the self-esteem issues you were dealing with that, the fact that you felt like someone was actually jealous of you because you did not just see that at all.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all. And I remember one time she had told me about, we were talking about cosmetic surgery and stuff, and she had told
Yeah.
me something. And she was like, I just don't think you realize, like, like how beautiful you are. which I
Aw,
thought was really sweet. And I
that's
was like,
sweet.
oh, thanks, because I kind of think of myself as ugly duckling. I got like bullied a lot. I had like a gap tooth problem. My mom
Oh my God.
wore braces. She's like, live with it. It'll grow together. Like so bad, right? And so sometimes when people see me now, they're like, I can't believe this is you. Like, oh my
Aw,
God. And I was like, thanks for telling me I was so fucking ugly. Like, that's what I'm
yeah.
getting from all this, right? So when
Aw.
she had told me that, I was like, oh, wow, wow. And then I found out a bunch of other stuff that she had said about me behind my back after that, and it all clicked.
It all
And
makes sense.
it all made sense. And I was just like, wow, she had no idea that I really like literally looked up to her and admired her so much, so
That's
it
such a
was,
sad story.
yeah, but you know what's crazy though?
What?
In that time frame, since I have let that go, I just want you to know you and I have become closer. So it was almost just like I upgraded massively. Like
Oh my God, you totally upgraded.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy how whenever you take out the trash, so to speak, it's like you're decluttering your life, you're making room for good stuff. So I'm not even kidding how this time frame and stuff has lined up. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, they say, and actually it's so cute. My mom just told me this just recently because I'm kind of going through a lot like of personal stuff, and I was talking to her about it, and she was so cute. But I truly, truly believe this, Ash. When one door shuts, the other one opens. And it's always when that other door that opens is always more of what you want. It's
Oh,
always good stuff. It's not like one door shuts and the other one opens and it's a shitty hand. It's not a shitty hand. It's usually like the best thing ever.
oh yeah, I know. I love that. I mean, and it's so funny because I know people are like, oh, it's so cheesy, but it's so
It's
true.
true. Yeah, it's so true.
It is true. And I don't know, I guess because I've just seen it time and time again, over and over and over. It's almost like when you're ready to level up, the shit
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. Oh my
So,
God, yeah.
um, I was just thinking about this too. I know in our last episode, we had talked about cosmetic self-care and our own journeys with that. And I was thinking I hadn't thought about it, but since I've had my surgery, FYI, my tummy tuck's done, guys. It's done. I didn't
Yay!
say
It's so exciting. And
that.
Ashley looks fantastic, by the way. Like she is hot.
I love you, Mel. Thank you.
Oh, it's awesome.
But someone did bring up the fact that they said something about I had someone checking on me and they said something like, oh, people are going to treat you different now. And I hadn't thought about that because, I've been talking to you this whole time since I've been recovering, and all I've been thinking about is, just everything else. But I didn't think about other people, period. I just cared about me.
Thinking about yeah, taking care of you.
Right. And so when I was told that, I was like, wait, what? And I think this kind of ties into our episode right now because I feel like you and I both have already had issues with people who get jealous or feel intimidated. And they,
Yeah.
especially how we look, how we take care of ourselves, our personalities. And, a lot of people are unhappy, so they project that, right?
Right.
And I kind of thought about that with this episode right now, going into it, I would like to handle that differently if and when it happens, because some people can be super supportive and some people are, like we said, they're just like downright mean,
They
you know.
are mean.
So
They are. They're really mean. And going back to just even like the cosmetic stuff, there's a lot of gossip around there. Like it's a judgmental thing. So I've heard gossip even from, things that I have done or things that other people have done. Like someone that I have known that has had something done. And I'm like, you go for, good for you. You go and do
yeah,
what you get done. And then the other person's like, I can't believe she would do something like that. And I'd be like, why not?
I know. Like,
I rock it. Like,
yeah.
do it.
I know. And it's just, yeah, it's crazy because if people really just kind of took the time to literally get over their own shit,
Mhm.
they would feel so much better and they would be
Oh.
celebrating and leveling up just like we are.
You
You know,
know how freeing it is not to have judgment on other people? Like,
oh,
I
God.
think it is the most freeing thing ever to feel that you can look at an individual and not have any judgment whatsoever on them. I think it is just such a great feeling.
What's funny is, social media is a driving force with a lot of judgment.
I agree.
So I took, I kind of did a little survey on myself. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be more consciously aware of my thoughts and feelings when I'm doing things. And I was like,
Yeah.
so I got on social media and I instantly noticed I started judging people, like
Like
what they
when
were
you hopped
posting.
on when you're looking, like scrolling?
Scrolling, I was judging
Really?
people, like it was so crazy. It was like my mind would just go there. Like I was just
Really?
thinking, yeah, I tracked my thoughts and it was, why would she wear that? That doesn't look good. And I'd scroll through and be like, why is this decorated up like that? I mean, that looks tacky, and like I just would take inventory of my thoughts. And I noticed how judgy I was. And so
No.
what I started doing, I was like, it's not social media. It's not social media that, I mean, yes, social media does put up, there's a lot of things that get put out
Yeah.
there and it does affect people, emotionally and all of that. But I was thinking it was a really good way for me to get over my judgment, right? And when you get over your judgment, it usually helps with that gossip factor, right?
It really truly does.
So what I decided to do now is, if when I'm scrolling and if I notice like a judgy thought pop in my mind, I'm like, you know what, that outfit is totally not for me, but if she likes it, good for her. Like, good on her. And I keep scrolling. Like I
Are
really,
you have you ever done like okay, there's two have you ever done like the commenting? Like I actually love social media and I love posting and I love doing all that. And one of the things that I will do in the morning, because I always like to start my morning really fresh and really good. And I do a lot of my postings in the morning, but I actually will start scrolling down and I start, instead of liking stuff, I love stuff. I put love out there because love is such a strong word that I'm instantly like, I love that. I love that. And I make an effort to comment on other people's stuff because honestly, you're not going to comment. Well, you shouldn't comment anything bad, but you're not going to
no.
comment anything bad on someone's like post. So automatically puts you in like a good mood. Like it like makes you like non-judgy and it just like so like when I'm scrolling, I make an effort to at least love like a handful of people before I start like doing my social media, and then I make an effort to also make comments on pictures because it also uplifts other people, and
Oh,
when
for
you
sure.
uplift other people it makes you feel good. Like it makes me feel good. In fact, it just made me think of this. Caitlin and I play this game. My daughter Caitlin and we play this game that when we're out in public, if we will start, we'll like, it's like this little inside joke game, but we will actually walk up to women and be like, oh my God, you look so good. And not in like a way of like mocking them. Like we generally say, you know what, your sweater looks fabulous on you, or your eyebrows look fantastic, or your hair is like totally on point. And you would be surprised and we do it all on women. Like we don't like do this on guys, but like you'd be surprised just how many women like it really makes them feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And we usually have like this little conversation with them and then we just go on our day.
Oh no, I love that so much because I have no problems walking up to a stranger and telling them something
Yeah.
good. I mean, well, there was one time, I think I was in Target or Walmart or something, and this lady looked phenomenal. Like her
Mhm.
waist was snatched. She had a booty that people pay for, and
I
like
love it.
I could tell like, well, that's natural. Like she looks gorgeous. And I walked up to her and I was like, look, I'm sorry. I was like, but you look like my after picture. Like
I love it.
before you're the after. I was like, you look amazing. And she loved that. And I
Yeah.
was being so serious, you know? And so I really love that you guys do that.
Yeah, Caitlin and I will do that, and we do it on like a lot. We do it a lot in the summertime. I don't know. It's just like I guess maybe because we don't go out as much like in the winter time, but like I remember this one time. I'll never forget it. We were at the we were at the country club because I we go to the pool there, and we just got done with the pool. Caitlin and I look like a wreck from being in the sun all day. Carl's in the back snoring in his trunks, and they must have had a wedding there that evening or whatever. So all these people were walking down, and there's this lady, and she had blonde hair, really light skin, and she was wearing this hot red dress. And Caitlin and I were like, whoa. So we literally rolled down the window and we're like, oh my God, you look so great. And
oh
I hope
my
you have
God.
a good time. And
That is so
yeah,
awesome. I love that.
I
I
think we
was,
should be doing that more.
oh yeah, for sure. You know, and it really does. It lifts people up and you're being genuine. So that, I mean, it's all good things, literally all good things,
Yeah. So
you know.
I would love to see women start changing their mentality. And instead of gossiping, I would love to see more of doing that kind of. And it's sad that Caitlin and I call it a game because it shouldn't be a game, but we should actually be doing it on a regular basis. We should be complimenting each other.
Yeah. I think it's important though for people like, well, I don't know. I can't even say, even when I was like in my past, when I was gossipy and I was a mean girl, I would still compliment people when I thought they looked good. I'd be like, I love your hair. Or what are you
Yeah.
doing? Like you look so good. I never had a real problem with that. I feel like people they've got to get in a better headspace, like period.
Yeah.
They really do. And like, it's
Because I've seen it where women have been so judgy and so gossipy that like a woman would walk in to like, I don't know, like a room, and they would totally pick her apart instead of looking at her and being like, wow, you know what? Those pearls on her look fabulous, or, her hair color is rocking, or, like
Mhm.
they'd be like, ew, like, oh my God.
Yes. No, I know. It's kind of,
Like, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of sad, that that happens. Especially because you never know what people are going through and how are you going to sit there and do that,
No.
and I mean, it's just such a lack
Yeah,
of, it's a lack of compassion. It's a lack of people's own self-worth,
I know.
and they just project all of that. That's why I'm telling you that little survey I did on myself to help me with my judgment issues when I
Okay,
did on
great.
social media, it was really great for me because I was
I
like,
like that.
wow.
I
And
like
then
that.
now that if it's stuff that I don't really like, or I'm like, oh, or I'll think, well, why don't I like that? Like, why does that kind of trigger me? Or why do I feel like I need to, you know, think this way? And then it'll actually kind of like, oh, it'll shift my perspective and I'll realize, well, this has nothing to do with this person. This is because I has something to do with some kind of conditioning inside of me, so I think that really people, in order to shift their perspective, they have to get more self-aware,
Mhm.
and they actually have to like give a damn, you know
Yeah, yeah.
I
And doing
remember.
some work on yourself isn't gonna hurt you. Like, like, don't be afraid.
No, I mean, I remember I worked with this one lady and like we all tried to befriend her at work. I mean, she was like super lonely. She could never hang on to a guy. She like put herself out there. with anybody she met because she was just really lonely. She wanted to find her
Yeah.
person. And you know, she would try to be friends with people in her own way, but it never really worked out because she always ended up being really mean, you know, and doing that thing, picking women apart and stuff like that.
Wow.
Um, and this was in my days where I just clapped back at people and I didn't care. And
Yeah.
um, I remember one time, like I was done because I had heard that she had said some things about me, and I was done trying to be nice and be friends with her. And I did. I got in her face at work one time. I said, you know what? I don't want to see any more tears come out of you. I don't give a damn about your situation. And I told her, I said, fuck what you're going through because you're an asshole to me and you're an
Yeah.
asshole to everybody else. This is why you're alone. You have no man, you have no friends because of how you are to people. I said, so I don't want to hear it. My sympathy is run out. And she, like the look on her face, like her eyes got so big, she said no words. Because what could she say? So,
Wow.
you know, looking back on that, of course, I shouldn't have handled it that way. There's always a better way, right? Um,
Yeah, but I've been there before.
but I
I'm
just,
definitely not an angel with my words. Definitely not.
yeah, I mean, I was like, I've had enough, you know, and
Yeah.
so,
But you get
um,
pushed to a certain point, you just do. I mean, I've been there before. I definitely said words to people that, yeah, that when I think back, probably really deserved it. But
yeah, no, I did. I overstepped my words because then when I found out she was saying other things, she was a stripper before. She had worked in an
uh-huh.
office. Somebody had like got her an office job, and she was a stripper before. And which no shame to strippers.
No, not at all.
I aspire that to be my side hustle one day.
Yeah,
Um,
you'll do it.
and but I was a big asshole back then, and I didn't mind people knowing that I was an asshole. So I told her, I said, I well, this is gonna sound terrible, but I did tell her, you know, you keep talking shit about me, I'm gonna report you for discrimination, and you're gonna be back dancing on a pole to make $1. I said, keep going. I did tell her that it was literally in front. We were at a conference table in the meeting room. My department head was there. Like it, yeah, that,
Wow.
nah, yeah, it was not good. Not good. There is always, you know, I can laugh about it now.
Oh yeah.
She was so mortified. Mel, she called into work. Like she took a couple personal days after that.
Wow.
Yeah, and
So, how was she when she came back? Were you guys able to like no.
no, no. She just like she didn't talk to anybody. She isolated herself for a good amount of time. And then eventually it was casual small talk. And then yeah, that was pretty much
So
it.
she was dealing with a lot of her internal stuff, and then that's why she was doing the things that she was doing. And then she got the whole backlash from, oh, not backlash, but the whole, like the coming out of everything that had occurred. So,
Right. And it just I'm telling you, it goes back to that hurt people hurt people. And
yeah,
when
they,
I lashed out at her, like when I had that kind of reaction, I was hurt.
yeah, you were.
So I wanted to hurt her
Absolutely.
back. Yeah. So now when I'm in a situation like that, I have no problem speaking my piece and speaking the truth. I don't have to use anything against anybody. You know,
No.
like I feel very confident standing in my truth, saying, you know what, this isn't okay. This is the kind of person you are to me, and I'm not doing it anymore. Like I'm done.
Right.
You know, that's such a better way to handle it, you know, than
Oh my God, it's so much of a better way. Absolutely. Yeah. Then like, yeah.
it really is. Um,
It's
so
taking the high road too, and it feels good to take the high road. I always say that. It feels so good to take the high road. It just does.
And you know what's funny is like, okay, so I don't know if I shared this with you. I might have. When I got the position that I have now, when I started, I had an employee that I had worked with her previously at another company a few years ago. And I knew the kind of person she was. And then when I found out I was going to be her boss, I was like, oh, this is not going to go good. Because it's not that I disliked her, but I knew that she gossiped a lot about everybody. I knew she caused a lot of problems. I knew she was very toxic, and she
Yeah.
would act very sweet to your face and befriend you and try to get stuff out of you for her own benefit. And
Okay.
and then, you know, she would go behind your back and say things. And it 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 was terrible. And she ended up getting fired. I ended up having to like write her up, report her to my supervisor because of there was just a lot of other things that she had been doing. She had like a
Okay.
huge file of write-ups, right? It's just the timing was strange because I had just come on board as the new supervisor.
Yeah.
So she got let go fairly quickly after I came on. However, I was at a company gathering not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up finding out. And when she found out I was going to be everybody's boss in there, she spread some very salacious, untrue gossip about me straight from the job.
Ooh.
I'm talking like vile things that are completely untrue.
Yeah.
And I didn't address it. I let it go. Well, for one, she was already fired, and what was I
Right.
going to do, right? I'm not going to talk to her about it. And two, I just realized that I was thinking, you know, I'm not this person that tries to control how other people see me,
Mm.
you know,
And
because
you know, in a situation like that, sometimes it's just the best. Just I kind of like to. There's another game. I call them games, but there's another thing that I like to do is I like to sit back and watch like karma all unfold. And I think there's some real truth to that. I was because that kind of situation reminds me of a situation I was in when I was dating this guy. And he ended up being like a true narcissist. Like he was bad, like bad, bad, bad. And behind closed doors, all this toxic stuff was happening. And I never said anything to our friends group and the people that were hanging out. Like there was a bar we used to go to all the time. I never said anything. And then when we were breaking up, the rumors and the stuff he was saying about me were horrific. Like just
oh my
so
God.
untrue. All these people were believing this stuff. It was so horrific. And a girlfriend of mine said, "You know what, Melissa? Don't say anything. Don't backlash on it. Just focus on you. Focus on you doing the right thing and just, you know, let everything just work itself out." And I could have been, and that was a turning point for me in my life because prior to that, if someone would be like that to me, I would be like the drama queen. Like I'd be like, he's not, like I would just totally dramatize the whole thing. So that was a real turning point for me because prior to that, I would be drama, where at that point I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take this high road. I'm not going to say anything. And I'm going to just sit back and just focus on me and not worry about anything. And there was a lot of bad things that came from that. Like people said some horrible things, acted horrible ways towards me because of the things that he had said. But you know what? I kept my nose clean and I just, you know, kept focusing on me and working on me. Well, needless to say, karma came back like tenfold on that guy. And the truth came out because he ended up dating other women after me. And what he did to me behind closed doors, he did to these women. And it came out. And not only did it come out, but he was also charged and he went to jail,
Oh my God.
court hearings. And I just sat back and I watched everything unfold. And then at that point, his word wasn't like valuable anymore. So, you know, everything he said about me, people were like, oh, you know what? Maybe it wasn't true.
It's so satisfying. Like, no, I mean, not that they're getting what's coming to them. I mean, it's satisfying and peaceful that you didn't stress yourself out
Yes, I
to
am
try and
so,
put out these fires that he started
yes,
with all the shit he was saying. That is the satisfying part. The satisfying part is like, you know what? I'm gonna do me. And
yes.
and
And
the
I
truth
did
will come
me.
out eventually.
And that's what happened. And yes. And yes, and it was such a good point in my life. And that girlfriend that helped me through that, she's still my girlfriend now. And she's always been like a good mentor to me. She's like, I think I don't even want to say, but I think she's 20 years older than me. She looks like she's my age. She's hot as hell. But she really truly is. But I truly believe that, sometimes with this gossip and gossiping, especially in that situation, that was a good turning point for me. Just to not say anything and let like everything unfold.
And it's a huge growth moment for you as
It was
well.
such a growth moment for me.
Like big, because
Like,
I've done that too, and I've just let it go. And when you do, and then all of it unfolds, and people are like, "Oh my God," it's like, you know what? And then what's really funny though is when people want to come to you and tell you what happened to the person, and you
I
and
know.
really you're like, honestly, I'm really unbothered and I'm uninterested. Like that's
Yes. And that's what happened to me. Yes.
yeah.
You're so right, Ash, because that's exactly what happened to me at that point was when all that stuff was going down, people were coming to me and I was like, I've moved on. I'm
Yeah,
me. I'm doing my thing. Like I don't care.
exactly. It's just like, okay, you know,
Yeah.
I love that so much, but so good. That's
Yeah.
so good. That's so much growth. I mean, and it just feels so good to just do you and not worry about other shit,
Yeah.
you
So
know?
any of our listeners out there listening, if you're going through any of this stuff, like definitely it does pay not to lash out.
It really does. It
Yeah.
really does. And it just, I think for me also, I had to stop and stop thinking like, oh, why me? Why me? Because I battled with that too when I would find out things that people said. And I'd be
Mhm.
like, you know what? It's okay. This is just a moment for me,
Yes.
um, to see what I can grow from going
Mhm.
through this. I mean,
Absolutely.
I really, really shift gears on that mindset thing. And it works wonders. It works so many wonders, create so much peace for yourself too.
Yeah.
So
All about the peace.
that's right.
All about the peace. So
So, well, this has been a great episode.
I know I love this. I've been wanting for those
Yeah.
who ended watching this video, Ash's mic just fell.
I was so excited that I put this thing together. Clearly not well.
Uh, so for all those listeners again, like Ash is in her like hotel room. I'm actually at work. Like
I mean, I was so proud of myself. I was like, I think this is how this goes. I don't know what to do with the instructions. This is awesome. Look what I did. And
that's
then
hilarious.
now the rest of it's on the floor, but that's fine. It's fine.
That's okay. You did good, but it was a great episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And again, if you have any questions for Ashley and myself, please email us because we want to hear and we definitely want to be there for you, our fellow girlfriends.
Yes, and I will leave all the information to get in contact with us in the show notes, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.